Alright, guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope I'm being clearly visible and audible to all of you. Today is the day 69 of recording daily scheduled videos for 75 days, and today we will be talking about the rising abuse of juvenile, mainly the factors, what are the causes, and what are the solution to it. The rising juvenile case is very prevalent and persistent in our country. And in this video, we'll unravel the causes, effects, and for that matter, the way forward to it. Therefore, without any further ado, let us start our today's video. If you've been watching all the series of videos from playlist 0 to 1, I really appreciate your attention span. Watching all this kind of boring videos, right, is a boredom, right? And this boredom will be of one day, and you'll be in a position where you'll be proud of yourself. Okay. So on that note, let us start our today's video. All right. Juvenile abuse and delinquency are rising in India, with National Crime Record Bureau data showing juvenile crime rates increasing from 6.9 percentage in 2020 to 7.1 percentage in 2023. Just in a year, we can see more than a percent increase in the crime rates of juvenile, and experts warn that poverty, family breakdown, substance abuse, and lack of education are major drivers of it. And reforms in community support and rehabilitation is urgently needed. All right, now let us look in few fact and figures, the current records and the current trends of juvenile crime rate, again, as I have mentioned in the introduction, have increased to 7.1% in 2023, which was just 6.9 back in 2022. So, in a year, in a duration of 365 days, we can see a percentage, you know, rise in the crime rates of the juveniles, right? And this is as per the National Crime Record Bureau, all right? So, therefore, it is a matter of concern, right? And the next common trade is the offense, which mainly includes the theft, assault, drug abuse, and mainly drug related crime, right? And we also have sexual offenses. It's very persistent and prevalent, mainly in age group of 16 to 18, right? Or for that matter, adolescents, all right? So that's there. And the geographic spread is majorly we can see it in urban areas, right? Because again, in urban areas, mainly it is due to the lifestyle, right? Because there's a lot of lifestyle change, and also for that matter, peer pressure in urban area, right? In a rural area, the things are quite different. Yet I cannot assure you that the rural area is not the victimization of this juvenile abuse. There are a few cases, for that matter, we can see a lot of cases in rural areas as well. But if we compare it to urban cases, comparatively, the urban areas are quite much prevalent and persistent in terms of juvenile abuse if we compare it to rural areas. All right, so that's there. Now let's see the few causes. What are the causes? First is family breakdown, domestic violence, neglect, and lack of parental supervision. Okay, so that's the first point. Second is substance abuse, again as mentioned in the introduction, alcohol, drugs, and these are the factors which strongly pulls the individual towards the juvenile crime. That's there. And third is poverty and unemployment. Economic stress pushes minors towards crime, right? And here, the when I say abuse, it's not just their victim, all right? They are even the culprit sometimes. And what is it, right? The reason behind this is simply unemployment and poverty, right? Because in order to get money, right, one can act and one can commit anything. Okay, so the money doesn't see age, all right? Once you cross the age of 15, right, now 13, 12, right, we all know the value of money, right? And In that process, most of the people tend to do wrong things, right? Very unethical things. Therefore, this things leads to the juvenile crimes and abuse. All right, that's there. And fourth is peer influence and lifestyle change, as I have said earlier, specifically in urban areas, right? Exposure to different kind of lifestyle, right? Various mode of pleasure, right? And one person become hedonist, all right, then that person can go to any extent. And now in times of social media, things are so easy, right? You just get everything in just one click. And with this, what happens, right? The things gets more vandalized, all right. That's there for the peer pressure and the social media influence. And lastly, the causes of the juvenile abuse is educational gaps, dropouts, and poor schooling reduce protective factors. All right, so that's there. The person must complete his or her proper education, and even though no one can guarantee, right? Because education is just in papers, all right. You won't develop your character. No one guarantees. No, no school can assure you'll have a bright future after studying out there. Okay, so after all, it all comes down to an individual. All right. So again, a very debatable point that's there. Now let us see the few legal and policy context in this juvenile abuse. First, we have Juvenile Justice Act of 2015, and it now, uh, as I speak to you, right, we are on 10th March. All right, tomorrow is 11th. I think it's already 10 minutes to be 11, and it have marked the 10 years, right? Juvenile Justice Act of 2015 have marked 10 years, complete 10 years, which allows the minors accused of heinous crime to be tried as adults in certain cases. That's the And here the political outrage often leads to calls for harsher punishment to the juveniles, but experts argue that rehabilitation centers is more effective than giving them such punishment, harsher punishment. So that's there. Now, what are the challenges? TK. Although this is not the whole challenge, but a small subtopic of the uh, legal and policy context. Here the challenge is balancing protection of children, balancing the dignity of children, and along with the accountability for the serious crimes. All right, so that's one challenge out here in legal and policy framework, or for that matter in juvenile abuse context. Okay, so that's there. Now, what are the solution and preventive measures that our government must take? First is in community level, right? There must be a lot of involvement, like local NGOs. I often see all these things in a lot of videos, but this is one solution, right, which could hit every rock bottom problem. So first is local NGOs doing a lot of community driven program, right, awareing the youths, right, so that they could provide a safe space for them for mentorship and a lot of things, right. And educational reforms, strengthening schools, vocational training and counseling in schools, right. Again, a lot of awareness classes in school at least twice per week, right, that's there. And family support, right, parenting workshop, uh, that's there. And again, counseling services, rehabilitation focus, skill building, therapy. Person can engage in any of the sports, indoor, outdoor, right? And all these things helps a lot rather than that punitive measures that our traditional school or colleges still, you know, believes in. All right, so all these things must be enforced as fast as possible. That's there. And again, a lot of repetition of the same point, awareness campaigns, yet a very pivotal point. Education communities must aware a lot of things about child rights and early warning signs of abuse. good touch, bad touch, all those kind of things, right? And what are the risks and challenges? Over criminalization, treating juveniles as adults, risks worsening their future prospects. That's their stigma. What is stigma? Stigma is something that basically, I'll keep it very simple for you all. In the layman word, it's bad name, right? So stigma, ठीक है. Juvenile faces lifelong social exclusion after the conviction is made, or right. Therefore, it sets a stigma on their name, on their career, on their future. So that's one challenge. And third challenge is resource gap, lack of trained counselors. Again, not that much of awareness program, few rehabilitation centers, and a lot of less funding. That's there. Last challenge is policy inertia. Despite rising rates of the crime record, from we again have a you know rigid fact and data from the National Crime Record Bureau, right? Even then, you know, the parliament is not acting on it. All right. Therefore, you know, a lot of parliamentarian could question and raise this question to our honorable member of parliament, whosoever is in power, for that matter, cabinet ministers, right? So out here again one challenge, right? They must highlight it. That's there. Now, in summation, few key takeaways from this video is the rise of juvenile abuse and delinquency is not just a law and order issue, but it reflects deeper social, economic, and educational failures in our country. And for a country like India, specifically states like my own state, West Bengal, tackling this requires community driven prevention. Again, summarizing this whole point, stronger family counselors, right? Stronger family support, a lot of counseling at least twice, thrice per week, and rehabilitation center focused specifically on justice rather than harsher punishments. That's all for our today's video, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been watching till the end, I really appreciate your attention span. May God bless all of you and all your efforts. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. 5 minutes to be 11. Let's go.